Danaa Batgэрel, will appreciate the time. You got a big fight coming up in a couple days at UFC 248. The first question I want to ask you is about representing Mongolia. When you enter the cage every time, do you carry the weight of the country as being a major representative?
Монгол хүн Монгол одоо дуугаа тавиад тий Монголын талбайг бариад cage руу явах хүртэл бол маш сайхан байдаг.
He says like for Mongolians to be a Mongolian, carrying the Mongolian flag and entering the cage is very exciting, very nice, and he's very happy to represent the country in UFC.
Mongolian MMA, you know, the first person I heard was Jadamba. That's the first fighter I ever heard of from Mongolia. And you're one of the next few that come along. How much has it developed since you started your career in 2011?
Жадамба нарны бол манай багш. Тэгээ 2011 оноос би одоо мэргэжилд тоглолтоод түүнээс хойш одоо Монголын MMA маш их хөгжиж байгаа. Одоо One FC-д олон монгол тулаанчид тоглож байна. Мөн Солонгос Road FC бас монгол тулаанчид бандэ тоглож байгаа. Одоо ер нь дэлхийн бас дажгүй том холбоотод бол ер нь монгол тамирчид бол тоглож байгаа. Монгол MMA маш сайн хурдцтай хөгжиж байна.
So Jadamba Narun Tonglak, he is Batgerel's coach. He's actually his coach. He used to be his coach, and he was since 2011 when he started fighting. Jadamba Narun Tonglak became also one FC champion. And also not in One FC, there are many Mongolian fighters. Also in Road FC, in Korea, there is also a Mongolian fighter, and many other in countries like the US and Japan. There's many Mongolian fighters are fighting in MMA. In other words, like last few years, in Mongolia, MMA is rapidly developing and it's really increasing.
All right, let's talk about your opponent coming up, Cannetti. You know, what are your thoughts on his fighting style?
Өрсөлдөгчийн мөчлөгийн өнөдийг бол үтсэн. Тэгээд түүбээс гарсан тамирчин байлаа. Ерөнхийдөө босоо зөртэй маягтай. Тэгээд ер нь одоо MMA тамирчдын ерөнхий адилхан л тийм л тамирчин байлаа.
So he says his opponent is came out from TUF, and he's like a usual normal MMA fighter. Yeah.
All right. Well, you did your training camp down at Jackson's. Who were the coaches that you worked with closely?
JacksonWink дээр бол Greg Jackson, Mike Winklejohn, тэгээд Joy, Brenda Gibson, ер нь бүх багш нартай орхон ажилтдаг. Мөн MMA шилдэг тамирчид тасаа. JacksonWink дээр бол байгаа. Эднэртэй ер нь бүгднтэй л хамтарч ажилтдаг, толж ажилтдаг.
So he's doing his training in JacksonWink last few months, 4 months, and he been being with the top MMA fighters and also top MMA coaches. Yeah, and he used to go to JacksonWink before also. So he's working with Greg Jackson, Winklejohn, Joey, Brenda Gibson, and with all the coaches he's working closely. And also in this UFC 248, Winklejohn and Joey is being his corner man.
Who were some of the training partners you had closely for this camp?
UFC fighter Pico, Guido, Steve Garcia, John Dodson, Pico,
Yeah, so he says like in JacksonWink there are many top fighters, like really good fighters. So he does his training with almost all of them. Yeah.
How is it training with Aaron Pico?
Yeah, Billa train 66 kilogram. My side.
So yeah, he says he's a fighter at Bellator 66 kilos, and he's very close with him also. Like he's very good, very top. He does very good wrestling and stuff, and so yeah, they do training together a lot all the time.
Is there any pressure on you to because you had a debut loss going into this fight?
Байхгүй. Өмнөх тэмцээн бол өмнөх сүүлийн одоогийн тэмцээн дээр бол дарамт юм уу байхгүй. Харин ч сайхан байна. Одоо тэмцээндээ ороход билээ.
He says the debut, the last fight was it's a previous thing. It's over, and now it's like it's new thing. So he's very excited. He doesn't have pressure. And he's very actually happy about it.
All right, your last 4 victories have been finishes. Do you visualize a finish, or do you think this fight will be a 3-round fight of the night performance?
Тий одоо яг цагаас өмнө явахгүй ер нь тэгээд хараарай л гэж хэлээ та.
So he says just watch it. No comment on this. Yeah.
All right, one last question. China, they have Zhang Weilei, and Nigeria has Israel Adesanya, both fighting on the same night. They represent their countries. They put their countries on the map. Is there a lot of inspiration from them for you?
Мэдээж аавна. Тэгээд би ч гэсэн ялгаагүй одоо Монголын анхны UFC fighter. Тэгээд цаашаа үргэлжлүүлээд тэднэртэй адилхан бас тэгээд улс төрийнхөө нэрийг мандуулаад авраг болно.
Of course, he has inspiration from them, and he's a first Mongolian fighter from in UFC. So he is really looking for the next steps, and he wants to show also himself, and yeah, he will be champion, he believes.
All right. Well, your journey to becoming a champion, it continues March 7th, which is a couple days away in Las Vegas. You're there, you're getting ready. Thank you so much for the time, and good luck on the fight, and good luck on everything that you're doing.
Thank you very much.